Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 3-0 Take, where we talk all things Major League Baseball. Here's Kyle Corwin and Nate Reyes. It all starts right now.
Welcome back to the 3-0 Take, presented by Big League Chew. This is episode 295. I'll be your host, Kyle Corwin, and I'm here with my co-host, Nate Reyes. Nate.
What up? How we doing, man?
Doing good. Went to the Nats game yesterday.
I saw that. Was that just a little spur of the moment thing or what?
No, it's kind of a perk. Well, it was just I don't know if it's necessarily a perk because it's not a frequent occurrence, but it was just a little bonus of my job. When summer comes around, we do summer camps at our building for kids. I'm not really involved. I just do social media.
Yeah.
But the people who run the camps reach out to me and they're like, "Hey, we're going to the Nats game. We know you're a big baseball fan. If you want to tag along, be a chaperone." I'm like, "Watch baseball on the clock?" Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that.
That's
so
sweet.
Went along. It was camp day apparently at Nats Park. So like all these camps, all these freaking kids running around. There was like nobody there except the camps. It was a 12 o'clock game.
Yeah.
But they're playing the Mariners yesterday. Of course, the one game that we're at, Julio is serving a suspension, so that blew.
Yeah. The one guy you want to see.
Yeah, literally the one guy. I mean, Soto's always cool, but like I see him every time I go over there. I want to see what the opponents were bringing into town, and fortunately didn't get to see him. But Soto gave us some late fireworks there in the ninth, 3-run bomb to cut it to 2, but the Nats just couldn't pull it off.
That's the typical national story. I feel like that's the headline for all year. It's over and over again, the same thing.
The Nationals
Soto shines and Nationals lose.
That's pretty much what happened. But I was witnessing history, didn't even realize it. I mean, the Mariners are right in the thick of a 10-game winning streak.
Yeah.
So that was cool to kind of see them keep doing their thing. But
how old were these kids? Did they care at all, or?
I mean, we had some kids that had your typical like not knowing a thing about baseball, like how long is this game? When does it end? Like what's an inning? Because we'd be like, well, it's like the 5th inning. We got 4 innings left, and they'd be like, that doesn't mean anything to me. Like just tell me how long we have until we go. And to be fair, it was a little toasty out there, and we were we weren't in one of the shaded sections of the park. The sun was just directly over us. Like we were all getting
how many
scorched. Kids? 29.
How many chaperones?
I think there was 6 of us.
All right, good. That's good.
So it wasn't terrible.
If there was if you were like one of 3, I'd be like, I wouldn't go. I'm sorry, I'm not doing that.
It was super low key. Like I got my my staff hot dog, chips, and bottled water.
Perfect.
On the house, and then
you didn't get a bucket of chicken tenders to rub it in these kids' face.
Dude, the self-restraint to not go into my own pocket. To be fair, I did have to get one of those. I had to get one of those souvenir drinks because I was like, I'm not going to make it all 9 innings on this Dasani. So I had to go up and get one of those souvenir cups, and it was cool because I mean we have like a dozen Nat souvenir cups in our kitchen, but we don't have this one. It was the City Connect. It had like the blossoms and the marble and all that on it. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the only thing I dipped into. I didn't get the tenders, didn't get the fries. Self-restraint.
That's tough. Paige is not a fan of those souvenir cups, by the way. Like, I had to kind of trim it down a little bit of the amount that I had when I moved in. So, and then there's a couple I was just like, babe, this is Yankee Stadium. Like, I'm sorry, I'm keeping this. CC's on it. Judge is on it. Like, I'm keeping these. And she's like, I guess. And then the All-Star ones last year were sick. They were like aluminum.
Yeah. I remember you sending me pictures. Those were sick.
Oh, those were so sweet. So I have like 4 of those, like different sizes, but like a glass of sweet tea in that bad boy with some ice. Ooh. It hits different. Ooh. I'm telling you, it's just a different kind of beast right there. So I was like, I'm not touching these. We're keeping those.
Love that.
But Yeah. That's 15's a lot. 15 is a lot.
Yeah, that's probably the amount I have. They all, and the great thing is they all stack inside one another because they're basically the same cup. So I got this like single stack of souvenir cups. It's like 2 feet tall. It's great.
And you paid like $47 for it. So I'm like, you got to keep it.
Well, the one at Nats Park, it was $10. It's unlimited refills, which I definitely get my money's worth because I go back like 3 to 4 times. So like I definitely walk out of there with diabetes, but I get my money's worth. It's a fair trade.
$10. How much is like a little bottle of insulin? Like
I'm gonna pay for it in the long run. I know that much. But yeah, that stack of souvenir cups has to be $120+ spent over the years.
There you go, baby.
It's insane. Nate, on the docket today, we're going to talk just a little bit of Orioles. I know we talked about them at length last episode with Ryan, which, by the way, just keep thinking.
Come on, how good was that episode?
What a great episode! Just absolutely love it.
One of our best for sure.
Going to dabble in the O's a little bit. They keep winning. We're going to talk a little bit more about the Mariners. I know, weeks ago at this point, I think you had a quote where you were talking about hovering over the panic button.
Yeah.
And looks like the Mariners have since kicked it into gear.
Or punched into gear.
Or punched into gear.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting. Interesting. We got a little. We're gonna look at the AL wildcard as a whole. That race, those standings. Talk some Charlie Montoyo being shown the door. And we're going to talk some home run derby participants. We have 7 out of 8 as of right now. I just know. I was thinking about it. Last year we did this. Last year we were talking about the home run derby participants. Yeah. I think we were missing like one. And I was like, we really need to see Soto. And as we were recording, Soto was announced. So let's hope that we figure out the 8th as we're recording.
Yeah. Because
like we mentioned, we're coming up on Derby Day, so we really need to get it together.
4 days away. Like, can we get this? I feel like they're bribing guys to get in there.
Oh, we're gonna get into this, dude. I'm convinced there's a full-on conspiracy.
We'll buy you a car if you show up and participate in this.
Yeah, we'll get into that. But before we do that, Nate, as promised a couple episodes ago, we're gonna open up yet another episode with a voicemail. So.
Yeah, keep this rolling, guys. We love this. Keep it going. We want to hear what you guys are thinking. We want to hear your comments and topics. And, we can only talk so much in this hour-ish. So it's like, remind us what's going on. You can only see so much around the league. You guys got to be our eyes and ears. So
yeah, be our eyes and ears on the ground.
I like this.
As a reminder, the voicemail number is in the Instagram bio. It is 202-644-9302. And again, that's in the Instagram bio. So feel free to leave us a message. Let us know your take on what's going on in baseball. Ask us a question. Preferably it'd be great if you guys could keep it somewhat relevant to kind of what's going on right now instead of just random off the wall stuff. But we'll try not to discriminate. We'll try to get it all in there. So
yeah,
just go ahead and leave us a message. But with that said, let's dive into the voicemail we got lined up for today. I think it's like 2 minutes, so buckle up.
Hey, my name is Jacob, calling in from Pennsylvania. I deem myself one of the biggest fans, maybe leader of the Chasers. I don't know. Just kidding. So had to go and subscribe and watch more of the YouTube channels, videos than I was before, simply to see Mr. Reyes without a beard. I heard about it on the podcast, and I was like, this might have me going and watching more videos. I thought that was hilarious. Hope that grows back soon, buddy. But let's talk baseball. Do the Braves trade for Shane Bieber? I'm saying, does Cleveland sell? Cleveland's been okay. I don't think they've really been anything to write home about. Just like I don't think the Orioles have been anything to write home about, but they just put together,
Jacob.
an 8-game winning streak. Maybe the Orioles shouldn't sell, but that wasn't the question. The question is, could and should the Braves go after someone like Shane Bieber? Ian Anderson hasn't been what he was supposed to be, or what we were hoping he would be, and Max Fried needs some help. We don't have immense amount of prospects we could give Cleveland, but certainly we could give something. It didn't help that we gave Drew Waters to the Royals for practically pennies, but maybe we can give Cleveland something for Shane Bieber. He's not helping them too much, clearly, if they're not winning still and making it back to the World Series. Braves was just there, so let's tack on another additional ace to guide, assist, and helps Max Fried, who should probably be NL Cy Young this year if it's not Alcantara. But let me know your thoughts on that the Braves could possibly trade. Hey, man.
Nope, not running that back. So, I mean, interesting proposal.
Yeah, I like it. In regards to the beard, this is going to take a minute. Sorry, Jacob. This is going to be a good 2 months of work that I got to get back to. It takes all I can muster to get what I had. So it's going to be a hot minute before I can get back to where I was. But, as far as the Bieber trade, I don't know the Braves farm system that well. I do know that, over the last few years, it's been really high on Pache and really high on Drew Waters. Both guys are gone now, obviously. And so I'm not totally in tune with that farm. But what I will say is that I don't know about Shane Bieber. I understand the idea of going and getting a starting pitcher to add to the rotation. But Shane Bieber, I mean, he's still got 2 years left of protection.
After this year.
Yeah, after this year. So it's like, that's going to be a haul. Now, as far as the Guardians go, I think you got to say right price, yes. But you have all the leverage. You got all the leverage. Because you can sit here and say, well, hey, we're going to make a run, and we're going to try to sneak into a wild card spot and make our fan base happy and potentially rock the boat of baseball's fandom and say, hey, we did this with the lowest payroll, and saying we can do it too, So I think they kind of go that route, but it's got to be right price for some of these guys. So wouldn't be surprised if maybe a couple of those names move. But I would have my eyes more on like a Tristan McKenzie, Zach Plesac, two guys that I feel like you could kind of buy low on and, maybe get a little bit of a change of scenery, because both guys have shown flashes of like dominance at times, but they can't really put it all together on a regular basis. So I'm curious to see if those guys go somewhere before Bieber. I mean, we're talking about an AL Cy Young candidate pretty much year in and year out if he's healthy, right? So you got to ask for a big haul for that.
I'm still focused on the Orioles ricochet during that voicemail. I don't understand. Like,
yeah,
Orioles are arguably the best team in baseball right now, and the hottest team in baseball, and we're just gonna be throwing strays at the O's. That's unnecessary.
Well, I mean, I think he's got the right mentality, and I think most baseball fans have to understand that, look, even if they do sneak into a wild card spot, are they really going to make a dent into the postseason? Probably not. And I think that front office for both teams has to be smart about, let's maximize our return on some of these guys while we're going good. And we can still do that. We talked about it last week. They have a ton of bats that they're not going to be able to hold on to for a while. They got to move some guys there. Arms-wise, I don't see any rush in moving any of those guys. Why? Hold on to them, continue to build around them, and then shorten this rebuild window. But I would see a couple bats going for them.
Well, as I mentioned, just wanted to dabble into the O's a little bit more before we talk Mariners. The O's, after winning last night's game, what was last night? Wednesday. After winning Wednesday night's game against the Cubs, they have now won their 10th straight game, which is their first double-digit win streak since 1999.
Mm-hmm. Let's go, man.
1999. I got a note here. I believe this was from Jared Krabs on Twitter. Says, on June 10th, the Orioles were 9 games under 500. They've since won 21 of 30 and 10 straight to get within 2 of a wild card spot.
See, I like hearing those chunks. 10 straight is awesome. You don't expect streaks to go crazy long, but I like hearing 21 out of 30. That's a good month. That's a solid top 5 team in baseball type month. And if you can have 2 or 3 of those in a season, you can almost solidify a postseason spot. So keep it going. Do it again for the rest of July. Sneak into August. Do a little bit more. And again, I think this is just like, don't rock the boat too much. You got a good thing going. You got a good culture. You're starting to get this chemistry in the clubhouse. You're getting energy from the fans. It's a beautiful ballpark. Every time we hop on and talk about the O's, we have to say that. And it's like, don't rock the boat too much. Move some expendable pieces. Keep this together. And show baseball that you are better than what they think. For multiple years in a row. Don't just put a month stretch together. Let's get this thing going.
You really could, if you wanted to, pinpoint this to a specific move. Since Adley Rutschman debuted on May 21st, the Orioles are 29-20, an identical record to the Mets over that span, and better than the Padres, Brewers, Cardinals, Phillies, Blue Jays, and Rays. The only teams better than Baltimore since that date, May 21st, the Braves, Astros, Yankees, Dodgers, Red Sox, and Mariners. That's good company.
Yeah, that's real good company. But I mean, as far as Adley goes, I think there's got to be some type of feeling where, you know, you as a pitcher, whether you're in the rotation or the bullpen, you got to be like, oh, this is going to be our guy for the next, hopefully 10 or 15 years. Like, I want to throw to him. I want him to be the guy. And get after it. Like, let's go. Like, get everybody going, man. This is good. This is a good energy. This is a good thing going in Baltimore. Yes, they're going to slide. Yes, they're going to come back down to earth eventually. But it doesn't have to be all the way back down to, you know, a 60-win team. There's no reason why this team can't be a 500 baseball team. Get it going. Do this on the regular and keep proving that the AL East is the best division in baseball.
Another team is playing really well, Nate. The Seattle Mariners have also won 10 straight. As I mentioned earlier in the episode, it was only but a few weeks ago where we were talking about, is it time to hit the panic button in Seattle? And they've since declined to press said panic button. Another note, I believe this was actually from the same tweet of Jared Krabs. On June 19th, the Mariners were 10 games under 500. They've since won 18 of 22 and 10 straight to move into a 3-way tie with the Red Sox and Blue Jays in the wild card race.
I'm paying attention to what they've been doing since that fight. Since the brawl with the Angels. Like, look, say what you will about Winker. Probably not the classiest thing you'll see on a baseball field, but at what point is enough enough? Like, at what point are you going to see someone get pissed off? And we watch guys like, you know, that slump, whether it's pitchers or hitters, and you just see them come back to the dugout and they sit down and they're stone cold, no emotion, no nothing. And it's like, at what point are you going to get pissed? At what point are you going to start breaking stuff? Show me that you care. And I think that's what that brawl did. I think it lit a fire and said, what are we doing? We brought in big pieces this offseason. We're doubling down on our manager. We've got young core coming up, an all-star and an amazing future lined up for Julio Rodriguez. Absolutely. So it's like, what else do we need? What else are you waiting for? So I think it kind of woke them up. I think they were just kind of zombie walking through most of this season so far. And now look at them. Now, yes. Has it been the best teams, during this stretch? Not necessarily. Back then the Orioles weren't what the Orioles are now a couple weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago. But, A's, they went and beat up on the Padres. Swept the Blue Jays.
This is since late June.
Yeah. So it's like, I like this, man. I'm a fan. This is good for baseball. Seattle is a good sports city. We say it over and over again. It's a good sports city. Keep it going. Keep it going.
This is the Mariners' first 10-game win streak for the first time. It's the first time they've done it since April of 2002. Do you know when the only longer winning streak for this team was?
What do you mean, when? You're saying when the longer?
They've only had one win streak that's been longer than the one they're currently on. Do you know when that was?
Last year.
Use your head. Come on, think Mariners.
I have no idea.
2001. Their only longer winning streak was
I thought
a
you said
15
since
game.
2002.
No, this is the first time they've won 10 games. They matched that.
Oh, see, I was
same
confused by the
streak in
question.
2002.
Yeah, 01 makes sense.
That's fine. I phrase things weird sometimes. They've only had one longer winning streak than the one they're on now. And that was in 2001 where they won 15 games. Coincidentally, also the same year or the last year that they went to the playoffs. So,
and also the best,
take that for what you will.
Best regular season record ever. So,
yeah, not a good look for the Mariners that year. But look,
I think this stretch has turned them into buyers in my mind. They just went from sellers to buyers.
I was literally just going to say, I mean, looking at this American League wildcard race, I mean, I don't know. I mean, we certainly haven't seen anything like this before because we've never had three teams, or three slots, I should say, up for grabs.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're looking at this race right now. We've got the Rays at the top. They got a game and a half to give. You got a three-way tie between the Sox, the Mariners, and the Blue Jays. And then behind them, you got the O's, who are 2 games back, the Guardians, who are 3 games back, the White Sox, who are 3.5 games back, the Rangers, who are 4.5 games back.
And
then I'm going to draw the line
cutoff
there because the Angels are at 8 games back, and I mean, I'm not going to include the most fraudulent organization in baseball in this conversation. But I mean, just for kicks, we can hopscotch them and go next in line. You got Detroit at 10 games back, so I like Detroit's chances at 10 games back more than I like the Angels at 8 games back. I'll just say that. I would almost argue if Oakland puts some good ball together over the next few weeks, I like their chances better than the Angels at 17.5 games back. What do we make out of all this? I mean, there's realistically that's 8 teams in the mix.
I think you got to look in the division. I think you got to look at the difficulty in the division. And you got to say who's going to go on a run here. Who can, stack up wins over the next 2 months. The AL East is going to continue to be a punching bag. Each team is just going to beat up on each other. So that's going to continue. That's going to stay snug. Do you look at the Central and you've got Detroit and Kansas City that are just going to be. You should go in there and win. That's all we should say. If you're in that division, you need to go in and beat the Tigers and the Royals. And then the West, the same story. If you're Seattle, you need to go beat the Angels and you need to go beat the A's. So I just can't see 3 teams from the East going from that wild card. I can't. I think it's something's going to give there. And I don't know who. I don't know who it's going to be, but I like Seattle. I like Seattle over Chicago. I like Seattle over Cleveland.
I'm assuming you like Seattle over Baltimore.
Just barely.
Can I be honest right now? I think I'm getting to the point where I'm really losing steam with the Blue Jays. And obviously they as an organization probably feel the same way because they just parted ways with Charlie Montoyo, which we'll get into in just a minute. But I don't know. Like we're past the halfway mark of the season, and I'm still not seeing the Blue Jays that I was. I don't know if I can say that I was promised at the start of the year because that was all external. All the expectations were all external. That wasn't necessarily anything that the Blue Jays believed. Although they did, if I recall, they did. Was it no? It was Vladdy that said, like. You
saw the trailer last year. Now you're going to see the movie.
Yeah, well, like where's the movie, Vladdy? Like, come on. You're going to have to turn it around a little bit.
Yeah.
This is not the movie. This isn't a movie worth watching. This is a movie I'm probably walking out halfway through.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I do think the firing of Charlie Montoyo, I don't know if that's the fix. I mean, I know in situations like this, something always has to give, and it's usually the manager, if not a hitting coach or pitching coach, whatever. But they felt that Charlie Montoya was the temporary Band-Aid that the organization needed. But look, while I may disagree with it, if the reports are true that maybe there were some leadership, some questions of leadership in the clubhouse, I get it. That makes sense. You can't have that. You got to get them out of there and get somebody in there who connects with the players, who can sit these guys down and have the hard conversations when they need to be had, and that there's a mutual respect there, and it's not just walking over your manager because you feel as though he's incompetent or that he shouldn't be in that role.
Right.
So I mean, if that's what was going on, then I understand the move, but otherwise, it's kind of bizarre because I think at the time that they fired him, this was what, yesterday? They were, or no, as of right now, they own one of the wild card spots. But I guess for the Blue Jays, and I read a statement I think that the front office came out with and said that, like, I'm paraphrasing, but it was something along the lines of like, while things have been going like well, they're not to the standard that we have for ourselves and where we think we should be. So I can understand that point of view, but it's just, it's a bizarre look. It kind of reminds me of, I'm blanking on his name, Renteria with the White Sox after the season where they made the postseason and he won, what was it? He won Manager of the Year, right? That year?
Yeah.
AL Manager of the Year. And they're like, sorry, this isn't it. I mean, I'm not putting Charlie Montoyo on that level, but it's bizarre where things are seemingly heading in an okay direction. You're like, no, this isn't the move.
Well, I think it's just some underwhelming performances so far. They've given up a lot of runs, and we expected this rotation to be way better. Gausman has not been what he was last year. Barrios is flashes of dominance, and then just a long, he'll go five or six straight starts of struggle, and then mix in an 8-inning 2-hit kind of start. Which
is, I think, what he did his last start, but those like 5 or 6 before that were
right. It's weird. So I got rid of him in fantasy because I couldn't handle it anymore. And it's just, I mean, they're scoring runs. 409 runs. The Yankees have put up 460, just for frame of reference. So I mean, they're not that bad in the offensive department. It's just they need to be able to figure out their arms a little bit, and their bullpen. Maybe that's why Charlie went. Maybe it's just a little misuse of the bullpen. Some early usage in the year, or they're going to that well too many times. But I think the difficult thing to say is when you let Charlie Montoyo go right now, I feel like you're kind of just accepting whatever happens this year. Whatever happens this year happens, right? Who's the interim coach? Who stepped in?
John Schneider, bench coach.
Is he the future?
I was reading that I don't know if it was reported by the players or if it was just the point of view of the reporters that are in there every day, but apparently there is an ongoing belief that he has a better relationship with the players, because I'd have to go back and look at his history, but I think he's been with those guys a lot longer. I'm assuming in that role.
Was he in the system?
I may be wrong, but I'm thinking he's had that role for a minute, and he probably has a little more trust, or he has earned a little bit more trust and respect from those guys in the clubhouse. So from what I'm reading, it sounds like it's a better fit for the remainder of the season. Beyond that, I'm not really sure what their plan is. But I guess we'll see. I mean, if they do well and they turn it around, we see these kinds of things, or we've seen these kinds of things before. You walk right into a contract. Who knows?
Yeah. The issue is that, again, I mean, we talked about it at the beginning of the year. You got a lot of young guys that are now playing with expectations. They didn't before. You could say they were young. You could say they were inexperienced. You could say everything they're doing is a bonus right now. Now, it's the expectation. We need those same numbers from you. I
think there's an episode or two, probably a couple years back, where you were quoted as saying like these Blue Jays have arrived at the scene a little early, and like you said, that was the case, but not the case anymore.
Yeah, and I think you got to have a little bit of patience. If you're a Blue Jays fan, you got to understand. Okay, well, like it's all good. We're gonna have another, hopefully, 5 or 6 year chunk with this same lineup at least, for the most part. And so you got to understand that they're coming. They're absolutely coming. Whether it's this year or next, I don't know, but this is going to be something to where I don't know. I don't know enough about this bench coach. I don't know enough about. I feel like writers of your own team somewhat have this bias anyway. And so I don't know if we're getting the true opinion of this guy, but if you go into this offseason and you finish as an, I don't know, 84, 85 win team, 86 win team, something in that range, it's like, are you going to bring him back? Or are you going to realize that you have a dominant lineup and a lot of potential in your rotation? Do we go and get a big name? You know, shout out to Colin. I was texting with him yesterday. He said Joe Madden. And he thinks Joe Madden should have been hired right away. And I think Joe Madden probably takes the rest of the year off and then maximizes his offer this offseason because he's going to have a few teams interested. So I'm curious to see how things go. I'm curious to see how things shake out. And I'd like to see a little bit more roster flexibility for them too. I'd like to see a little bit more, they got rid of Grichuk, and I kind of thought that was an interesting move. To bring in Tapia, who just plays well defensively, but Grichuk knew how to hit, and he tormented AL East teams. I don't know about the Red Sox as much, but he just dominated against the Yankees on a regular basis, and I feel like you got to have a couple of those guys, a couple just hard nose, don't talk to me, I'm here to play ball kind of leader. And there's a lot of loud noise amongst those players. Springer plays loud, Vladdy plays loud, Bo Bichette plays loud, and they're all throwing on the jacket when they get into the dugout. And it's like, who's the guy? Is Matt Chapman need another year to settle in and be that leader? But you need someone that's just kind of stone cold, I'm going to go out here and dominate kind of mentality. And I feel like they're lacking some of that in the clubhouse.
Side note, is the home run jacket the worst home run celebration of all the?
I think it's pretty tired. Overall, it's pretty tired. That and the cowboy hat in LA for the Angels, that was never a good thing. I never got that.
Yeah, I don't like that. Don't like the jacket either.
The jacket's dumb.
It looks weird, man. It's not like a jacket. It literally looks like
a blazer.
A business suit. Like, what are we doing?
And every guy struggles to get it on. It's just like, all right. I think it's time to find a new thing. You just got to find a new thing sometimes.
Yeah, it's all right, Blue Jays. I'm not railing on your home run celebration. Sometimes you just got to admit your mistake and move forward. It's all right.
Something new. Get something new.
Clearly, we need to maybe mix things up. So maybe now's the time to retire.
Maybe the GM should have just been like, look, Charlie can stay, but you guys got to switch up the celebration. And the guys were like, no. we're keeping the jacket.
Yeah.
Charlie's out. We're keeping the jacket. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, tell Charlie and his family to kick rocks. The jacket stays. The jacket stays.
What are all those patches all over it? Do you know?
It's I can't remember if it's country flags or it's something, but it basically is a representation of like all the where all the guys come from on the team.
All right.
I can't remember if they're actual like flag patches or not.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, I mean, not hopefully, but you're going to see them play well against the Royals. They had 10 guys that not able to go to Toronto, so they're going to play well against the Royals.
Look, I'm not here to like get political or anything, but Canada, can we clean it up, please? Like, we're missing out on good baseball here.
Yeah. Big names too, like big names for the Royals.
And we just saw the headline that broke today. It said the Yankees are possibly out on Benintendi now. So it's like, and it's because
it's affecting baseball. Yeah, because he's not going to be able to play.
Yeah, it's because like they have X amount of games left in Toronto, and like that obviously plays a role into it. Which, if I'm the Yankees, I'm like, am I really not going to go after a guy because he's going to miss 6 games? No.
Well, I mean, how many times they have? How many matchups do they have left?
I really do. I think it's 6 in Toronto. I think that's what I read.
6 in Toronto.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's tough.
I mean, you get him you get him for every other game besides that, and then you presumably get him in the postseason, barring losing out for the rest of the season, and honestly, you miss the playoffs altogether. But
just mark down left field as a ghost runner, an automatic out, because that's what Joey Gallo is at this point. So
poor Joey Gallo.
That guy's got it. He's not made for that city. I'm sorry.
Which, by the way, what am I reading about this trade back to Texas? Or no, was it Texas?
Yeah, I saw something possible for that, some possible landing spots. I think just
what was the trade that I was reading about? It was like it was a 1-for-1. It was like straight up. We were just talking about it the other day. Who was it?
With the Rangers? Or just saying in general?
Was it for Benintendi?
I can see Benintendi. They're also interested in Michael Taylor. Because they're starting to see a little bit of wear and tear on Judge for playing center field, which not surprised at all. A little bit of leg soreness or whatever the last few weeks. So
travel related soreness, whatever that means.
Well, I mean, he's 8 feet tall. Try fitting on a plane when you're that big.
Yeah, I guess first class is just isn't enough for Mr. Judge. Tough life. Tough life. Give me a break. Give me a break. I don't even know how we got on this topic. What were we even talking about?
Joey Gallo's getting shipped somewhere. I don't care where.
Talking about Canada needing to clean it up. Like, come on, let's get it together.
Yeah, I think it's just time. Let's just get it going here.
We're missing out on good baseball. And yes, I know what you're saying. Yes, baseball is that important. So let's clean it up.
Where does Benintendi go? Real quick, where does Benintendi go if it's not New York?
It's a great question.
I don't know either. Minnesota, maybe? Do they need any outfielders? I mean, Houston, since Jordan is kind of dealing with some stuff, probably just going to go back to full-time DH.
How's Philly's outfield situation looking?
Well, we know about one of them.
Oh, yeah, we do.
That would help a lot, I think.
Phillies
I wouldn't.
Phillies 1 game out.
I wouldn't hate that fit. I would not hate that fit. I'm on board.
You know what I'm on board with? SeatGeek.
SeatGeek.
That's it. That's all I wanted to say.
We're going to leave it there.
Yeah, that's really it. SeatGeek. I'm just on board.
All right, cool. Good for you.
I'm also on board with.
Are you?
What?
The
Big League Chew? Which let me just say, so we were at the game yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And I brought a pack a Big League Chew with me, just get some nice glamour shots with the ballpark in the background, put up a reel.
Saw that, look good. Yeah.
Just to, just help out our friends over there at BLC. And so I had some, and then some of the kids were behind me, or no, one of the camp counselors that I was with, he looked over, he's a big baseball fan. He's like, man, I love some Big League Chew. He's like, these kids today probably don't even know about Big League Chew. And he looked back at the kids sitting behind us, and he's like, hey, what do you guys know about this Big League Chew? And the kids were like, I love Big League Chew.
Dude,
and I'm like, wow, my faith in humanity restored.
Let's go.
Like the kids even today, they know about.
I love that, dude.
They know what's up. And so I was like, you know what? This will be better suited for them. So I just gave them the pouch and let them enjoy.
I was, no free ads here. We don't have any connection with them, but it's you and I's favorite comedian, Nate Bargatze. They were talking about that on their episode, the last one too. They were talking about candy, and they talked about Big League Chew. They talked about that documentary on Netflix, which I still haven't watched, by the way. The what is it, like battered bastards of baseball or something like that.
Oh yeah, I still need to get around to watching that.
Rob was telling us about it when we interviewed him.
Yeah.
But they talked about it, and he was like, yeah, one of the guys that started Big League Chew is from there. His name's Rob Nelson. He founded it.
By the way, side note, I still haven't seen it because we cut cable like a while back, so I wasn't able to watch it. But they did that special on Big League Chew on the History Channel too, where they went back. I think they went back to the first the kitchen where they made the first batch, like in the oven or whatever. Remember he was telling us about that? Apparently there was like a special, and they did a special on the History Channel a while back. So I'm gonna
have to dig that up.
Yeah, I need to see if I can find that.
I like it. Founded by former left-handed pitcher Rob Nelson, Big League Chew started from humble beginnings in the Portland Mavericks bullpen in 1977. For more than 40 years, the iconic pouches packed with shredded, flavorful bubblegum has become the #1 shredded gum of athletes everywhere. Big League Chew has sold more than 900 million pouches and is designated as the Hall of Fame bubblegum. Grab some gum and head to Big League Chew's social media channels, at Big League Chew on Twitter, at Big League Chew Gum on Instagram to show off your Big League bubbles. You can also find a list of retailers or purchase any of their products directly from their website at bigleaguechew.com. BLC, Big League Chew.
SeatGeek is the answer to all your ticket needs. You're looking for tickets, you have plans of friends or family to make it to an upcoming game or concert, or are you even looking months ahead to nail down a date to get tickets before they sell out? With SeatGeek, you can find tickets to games, concert shows, and even theater performances with just a few easy clicks. We're making it even better for you if you're a first-time user. SeatGeek, next time you add some tickets to your cart, use our promo code the number 3, the number 0, take pod. That's our social handle at checkout to save $20 instantly off your first purchase as a first-time user. That's all you got to do to save some of that.
Code Hot Cash.
Enter promo code the number 3, the number 0, take pod. That's our social handle at checkout. That's got to be a record. That's the cleanest read I think I've ever had.
How did it feel? Feel?
I mean, I might need to take a break because
just take a sec.
I mean, let's just let it soak in a little bit.
Let the listeners rewind a little bit, listen to it again.
Yeah, feel free to go back and listen to it again. Speaking of tickets, you know what doesn't require tickets? I don't know if I've even have I mentioned this on the podcast? The Hall of Fame induction, which I'll be going to not this weekend, but next weekend.
It does. You don't need to buy tickets for that?
No, you just show up. They open up the lawn to all the people. They say, come
awesome.
on, come all.
Yeah. That's coming up soon. When is that?
Not this weekend, but next weekend.
Oh, boy.
And I
you
got
pumped?
that. Yeah, man. Big Papi. The legend. The man, the myth, the legend, the hero. I got a, which this seems to be, I've noticed over the years we've run this podcast, this seems to be a topic of controversy, is what jerseys are best. But I was looking on eBay because I'm not, first of all, if I'm going to get a former player who no longer plays, I'm not going to get a Nike jersey of that player because they never wore that jersey. Yeah. And that's just not, that's not realistic. That's not baseball. I'm sorry. That's a hill I'm willing to die on. And so, because of that, I got to look for, I mean, they still sell like new ones. I think they're like still Majestic, but you got to go through all these like weird back channels. I'm like, I'm not interested in that. So, I'll just hit up eBay, hit up Facebook Marketplace, look for a used jersey. And, I found one and it was
in
stitched.
Good shape?
Oh, it was in great shape. No stain. They said in the description is like no rips, tears, stains, great shape. And it was Majestic and it was stitched, which is the key. Like you can't get that iron press nonsense. You just can't do that.
No.
Because the stuff starts to peel off over the years, and that's just not a good look. So got the stitched. It was a home white, and there was no name on the back, as it should be.
Bingo.
And so I'm like, add to cart, send it my way.
I'm
taking it with me to Cooperstown. It was like $60.
Hold the phone.
$60. And
what?
I'm like, yeah, you're going with me to Cooperstown. Get on my back. You're going to Cooperstown with me. Jersey.
That was clearly an angry ex-girlfriend that sold off that jersey.
Well, it was a guy, so it's not like Jake from State Farm. Well, it's a guy, so no, I mean it was quite a steal. Quite the steal.
Wow.
So I was pleased with that.
That's $150 minimum.
Yeah.
Minimum. I'm not selling that for less than that.
Yeah, no, I mean it was
especially Hall of Fame, like around this time, like he's obviously has a lot of buzz around him.
Yeah, guy clearly has no feel for what's going on in baseball.
Not a lot of business sense. What? Yeah, where'd you get it from? Where was he from?
I think Nebraska.
That's a lot of.
And that's a lot to ask from a Nebraskan to know what's going on in baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll let it slide.
They're big on the Huskers, and that's about it. So that's cool.
I mean, find something you love and just go all in, and that's what they do. And I respect it.
$60. It's absurd.
Absolutely absurd. Speaking of absurd, as we mentioned, the fact that we're how many days out did you say? From the home run derby?
4. It's the 18th, right?
It's on Monday. Including today, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 days until Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's Thursday. That's 4 days. We're still missing our 8th participant. That's insane.
I got to be honest. I am so out of touch. Who's the 7?
All right, so the 7 we got as of right now, which I believe he was the most recent addition to the field. We got Julio Rodriguez, Jose Ramirez.
Love it.
Pete Alonso, which, by the way, did you know Jose Ramirez has not been in the home run derby? This is his debut.
I like it. What if he just switches sides? Have we ever seen that? Where just like a guy gets tired from one side, switches the other?
I have no idea. I mean,
that'd be cool.
At this point, we may see it. Why not? Yeah. It's an exhibition after all. Pete Alonso, Ronald Acuna Jr. Another side note.
I had no idea Acuna was in it.
Yeah, it'll be a second trip to the Derby. But going back to this Pete Alonso thing, side note, the camp counselor I was talking to yesterday also thinks Pete Alonso is a cornball. So I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
Not the only one.
It's becoming more evident, I think.
Just wanted to put that out there. But Pete Alonso is coming off back-to-back Derby titles, correct? He won
3. He's going for his third straight. Yeah.
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 So we got, recapping here, we got Julio Rodriguez, Jose Ramirez, Pete Alonso, Ronald Acuna Jr., Albert Pujols, which we haven't talked about yet, Kyle Schwarber, and Juan Soto. And that brings us to 7. This whole
I gotta
Albert
be
Pujols
honest.
thing.
As late as it's taken, as late as we are in this process, that's a good group.
Which brings me to the point that I alluded to earlier in the episode, where I think there's some sort of conspiracy going on. And I don't remember if we talked about this on air last episode with Ryan, or if this was just something we talked about after we hopped off. But there's got to be some under the table business going on here. Like, hey, we won't publicly announce this, but we're going to pay you, like, we're willing to pay you like $25 million just to participate because literally nobody wants to do this because they're seeing the effects of guys having subpar second halves.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really the only explanation because otherwise there's no way that it would take somebody, it shouldn't take them to the Thursday before the Derby to still not even have a complete field. And like I said, I'm sure we're going to find out at some point today. So this conversation will be irrelevant at that point. But as of right now, as of Thursday, when we're recording this, we're missing an eighth. And it shouldn't take, unless there's some sort of, like you said, unless there's some sort of bribing going on, it shouldn't take this long. Like it can't, if you're an interested party, you can't be like, well, we'll just see like as we get closer. Like, no, you know one way or another whether or not that's something you'd be willing to do because you either feel like it doesn't matter in terms of your swing, your production in the second half, or you feel that it does. And I really don't feel like there's an in-between. So, like, I don't know if that's, like, I just don't see how that's something that takes you this long to figure out. So, like, you're either interested, and like we've talked about in episodes in years past with this home run derby, do we really know the process of, like, how they, like, is this an invite-only thing? If you're interested, can you express your interest? Like, reach out, like, have somebody reach out to the league for you? Like, I don't know how this works.
I feel like former winners pretty much always have an invite, right? I think it's just like an outstanding invitation. I think I got to go the other way a little bit too. And I got to say, what if you're dealing with some type of like nagging, not injury, but you know what I mean? Like something that's just bugging you and you want to wait it out. You want to see how it goes. Maybe, you know, at the beginning of July, you weren't feeling so hot and you give it a couple weeks and say, hey, you know, it started to go away. I think I'm going to do the Derby. Or, like you said, they're having to bribe guys somehow. And I think it makes sense if you feel like you can compartmentalize this event and keep it separate from your performance in the second half of the season. And that's a lot harder to do than you think. And we've watched guys that just have either dealt with injuries or gone in huge slumps after. So
on the flip side, we've also seen guys use this as a jumping
kind of like a little trampoline. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. Why not? Just do it. And it's fun. This is the only fun thing a part of this week. Like everything else is lame. The game is no longer fun. Like the Derby is definitely the most fun part. The same way the dunk contest used to be more important than the All-Star game. Now they both suck for the NBA. So I don't want the Derby to get lost. I want this to continue to stay. The balls are going to be juiced out of their mind. LA is a good place to hit. It's going to be nice and warm. You got those low fences down the lines.
Yeah, and we're gonna
big
see
hitters eye in center field too. So it's going to be good.
We're going to see Dodgers legend Albert Pujols make his return.
I think it'll sneak a couple
to LA. How do we realistically think he's going to do? It's been it's been 7 years since Pujols was in the home run derby. 5th overall appearance.
It all depends on the matchup. It all depends on who he gets paired with.
All right, well, I mean, let's run through the list. Is there anybody on this list you think he can take down? Julio Rodriguez.
Maybe, just from inexperience, maybe.
Jose Ramirez.
No.
Absolutely not. Pete Alonso.
No.
Ronald Acuna Jr.
No.
Kyle Schwarber. Definitely not. Juan Soto.
No.
So really, Albert Pujols just better hope that this 8th slot is filled by
This 8th guy
Bartolo
needs
Colon,
to be,
because
yeah, this 8th guy needs to be like somebody small, dude.
like
Like
bring back
Isaiah
Brett
Kiner
Gardner.
Falefa doesn't have a home run this year. Let's put him in it. Let's get Albert to the second round.
Let's see what let's ring up Brett Gardner, see what he's up
Yeah.
to, see if he'd be interested.
Why not? Well, I mean, we're not recording Monday, so do you want to go ahead and just give a little prediction here? Who takes it?
I'm not gonna lie. I'm getting the championship vibes from Jose Ramirez.
I'm going Schwarber.
All right. I mean, both good answers in
yeah.
my opinion. Like,
Yeah,
I don't think you can
I
go
feel
wrong there.
like the little he just seems there's no leg kick, there's not much going on. It's just a little bit of like this heel lift and a little bit he's gonna run into some. He's gonna hit it on top of that little what's that like canopy thing that's in the outfield out there.
oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Like that hard
Yeah, it looks
coverage.
looks like a carport.
like a
yeah.
carport. Yeah, overall, this is not a popular opinion, but I don't get it.
No, I don't know.
Dodger Stadium just doesn't do it for me at all. Nothing about Dodger Stadium screams classic, legendary ballpark.
I do remember the looks on our faces when we realized that the seats, which I still don't think a lot of people even know this, but if you look at
Multicolored?
the
What is
seats,
that?
yeah, if you look at the seats when the stadium is empty, they're all these like weird pastel looking colors. It's supposed to apparently it's supposed to resemble the beach, which is kind of just a weird thing to
No,
do.
it needs to be Dodger blue. That's it.
Well, no, that's a lot of blue. That would like a sea of blue seats.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, I guess that's what they got in. Don't they have that in Toronto? They're all like Blue Jays blue, right? I think. Or am
But
am I
Rogers
misremembering?
Center is.
Yeah.
Rogers Center does nothing for me either.
That's my least favorite stadium in baseball to watch on TV. I know I've
I
said
get
that
it.
before, but it's worth repeating. Just
I
the
get
worst
it.
to watch on TV.
Yeah,
I hate
you don't
it.
know. I can't tell if it's like a two hop to the fence or if it's in the second deck. You can't tell. It's so weird.
I hate it. So you're going Kyle
I'm
Schwarber.
going Schwabs. Yeah.
I'm going Jose Ramirez. All right, I'll get the graphic cranked out. Who do we think is again? I'll say it for the third or fourth time. I'm certain that by the time I edit this episode, the 8th slot will be filled. But if it's not, and you're still listening to this, who do we think the eighth mystery slot goes to?
I want someone fun. I want someone that has that excitement. I kind of felt this way since the beginning. He's got surprising pop. You like jazz?
Ooh, that would be.
Give me Jazzy Chisholm, dude.
If nothing else, just for the entertainment, like
Right?
put jazz in there.
Yeah. No lid, just the braids.
Oh
with the
no,
multiple colors.
You know he's going lid. He's a huge Ken Griffey guy. Do you?
He's going backwards lid.
I
you
would
think?
almost think he'd pay homage to the kid and maybe go backwards hat.
Maybe
and
a
that-
little bit, but I like his hair, dude. He's always got cool stuff going on with his hair.
I'd be okay with that. Like I'm not gonna be like, oh, who's this guy? Does this guy think he's Ken Griffey? Like no, it's well documented that he's a huge
Yeah.
Ken Griffey fan. So like I'm all for that. I'm all.
I
about
think
it.
more backwards hats during the home run derby is welcomed overall.
Yeah, I mean it's literally what
Depends on
kids
who you
do
are, though.
in the backyard.
Depends on who you are. Schwarber, let's keep it straight, pal.
Yeah, no, it can't be
Yeah.
be having Wonder Bread Schwarber out there with
Yeah.
rocking a backwards hat. No, thank you.
Pete Alonso he's also he really cares about this event, so he's gonna be. I'm assuming he's gonna be either in the final or semifinal.
He's
at
gonna
least.
be locked in, dude. Like, no, don't talk to me. He's
He
gonna take
takes
those
this.
Gatorades that they bring out, and he's gonna like throw it at the poor kid that brings it. He's like, no,
Oh,
get away
man.
from me.
If he wins it, I need a less corny celebration.
Yeah.
Last year was extremely just weird to watch and just awkward.
Let's just be glad, or let's hope, because again, we don't know at this exact moment in time. and I know he's having a little bit of an off year, but let's just hope that Nick Castellanos is not in the home run derby with the bad luck that he brings every home run swing.
Yeah, true.
Like, could you imagine what would happen to the world if Nick Castellanos is in a home? It would end.
He didn't even get an invite. Let's be real. They knew that.
No, they knew. Yeah,
they knew.
Tip of the cap to Major League Baseball for saving the planet there.
Who's your guy you're hoping for, real quick?
I was just trying to jog my memory with some guys that
I'm also
like
down
good fits, because you can't just
go
go
down for Stanton.
Yeah,
because he's a California guy, and like obviously he knows how to hit home runs, and it would be fun to see where balls go in Dodger Stadium from him.
It's maybe this is a weird take. People might disagree, but I feel like he's got the swing for it. If nothing else, Manny Machado. That would make for entertaining content right there.
Tatis is going to join and has not even started. Hasn't started swinging a bat yet for the Padres, but he's gonna hop in.
He's gonna ride his motorcycle through the center field gate up to home plate, popping wheelies the entire way, and then he's gonna go win the whole
I don't
thing.
think I'm ever gonna get him back in fantasy. I've been holding on to him all year. I drafted him.
I'll trade you Keith Folk straight up for Tatis.
I don't even know who that is.
He's the closer for the Red Sox in 2004 when they won the World Series. I'm sure he's still listed as a free agent on there, hopefully.
Add him in.
All right, we got to get this thing wrapped up. So let's look at the weekend series preview that we got. This is as we did last Thursday, this is a new thing we're going to be doing. We're just each picking a series that we think would be good baseball to maybe keep an eye out for if you get tired of watching your own team, or if your own team sucks, or if your own team has already played and maybe you're going to catch these particular games at a different part in the day.
There you go.
For me, I truly, when I picked this, I truly did not think that on July 14th that I would be picking this matchup.
Yeah.
But here we are. I'm going with the Orioles and the Tampa Bay Rays. And you go, why in the world? We already mentioned, looking at the wild card standings, you've got the Rays with a game and a half to give in the top spot. And then you've got the O's 2 games back.
Like in all seriousness, this, if you remove the names of those teams and your bias against how you feel about the Orioles, this is a big matchup right now, going into the All-Star break as well. So that's like, this is something that it's going to set the standard, right? And if the Orioles go into the All-Star break and they say we hold on to a wild card spot, what? Let's go, baby.
And that's what I'm saying. That this series could, I mean, I'm not going to put all of the eggs in this basket, but this could also dictate, like we were talking about, what they do at the deadline, whether they hold on to certain pieces or whether they ship them out and say, let's run it back next year and try our luck next year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's why I went with this series. So with that said, looking at game 1, we got Tyler Wells for the Orioles going up against Shane Baz. Tyler Wells is 7-4 with an ERA at 3.28. Opponents are hitting .221. And his last start against the Angels, he went 4 innings, gave up 3 earned runs on 6 hits with 3 strikeouts and 2 walks. Shane Baz coming off a little bit of a rocky start. He's 1-2, ERA of 5. Opponents are hitting .252 off him. In his last start, as I mentioned, not great. Threw against the Reds, took the loss. He went only 2 1/3, gave up 7 earned runs on 8 hits, and had 2 Ks, but didn't have any walks.
Reds are hitting, by the way.
Dude, what's going on with the Reds?
They know how to hit.
We may need to swing back on them next episode based on what happened, because there's some weird stuff going on with the Reds.
Yeah.
Game 2, we got Dean. I'm just going to go Kramer.
Yeah, definitely Kramer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dean Kramer, 3-1 with an ERA at 2.15. Opponents are hitting .252 off him. His last start against the Angels, he went 5 innings, gave up 2 hits, had 3 walks and 7 strikeouts. The Rays do not have a designated starter for that particular game on Saturday, but game 3 they do. We've got Jordan Lyles and Corey Kluber. Jordan Lyles for the O's is 6-7 with an ERA of 4.37. Opponents are hitting 273 off him. His last start against the Cubs, he went 7 innings, gave up 7 hits, had 5 Ks and a walk. And Corey Kluber for the Rays, we talked about this briefly before hopping on. Not a terrible year for Corey Kluber.
Yeah.
It's 5-5, ERA of 3.58. I mean, that's pretty respectable for Corey Kluber. 3.58. Opponents are hitting 245 off him. His last start, he went 6, gave up 2 earned runs on 4 hits, had 7 Ks and a walk. Highlighting a guy from each team, Ryan Mountcastle for the O's. Little bit of a slide.
Skid, yeah.
He's off his last 5 games. He's 4 for 22, no bombs, only 2 ribbies, and has 8 Ks. So he will be looking to turn things around against the Rays. And again, this is entering Thursday. I know the Rays have a game. I think the Orioles are off today, but I know the Rays have a game. So this number for Harold Ramirez might change. But Harold Ramirez swinging a hot bat. He's 10 for 19. He's had 6 RBIs and only 1 strikeout in his last 5 games. So again, entering Thursday.
Clutch ad in fantasy for your boy. Clutch ad.
I'd given you a little love there. That's why I went with it.
Yeah, thanks, man. I'm going Brewers Giants, and look, it's just if you like pitching, let's get after this thing. Game 1, Corbin Burns, Carlos Rodon. That's tonight. Corbin Burns is 7-4 this season. He's got a 2.20 ERA. Opponents are only hitting 182 off of him. Back on the July 6th against the Cubs, he went 7 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, and 10 Ks. So he's rolling. And same with the guy that did get into the All-Star game, which we were hoping. Carlos Rodon, 8-5 this year, 2.70 ERA. Opponents are hitting 204 against him. On July 9th against San Diego, he went CG. 9 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 12 Ks. Excuse me?
Not to mention, that was the last start that he had. I think it was the day before the start, the All-Stars were announced for the staff. He didn't make the cut after that.
I love it.
Terrible.
Yeah, just letting everybody know. Yeah. It hits different when you're like added in as a reserve. I'm sure it doesn't feel the same. I'm sure the bonus hits your checking account the same way, but just doesn't feel right.
It doesn't.
Game 2, we got Brandon Woodruff going against Alex Wood. Woodruff is 7-3 this year. Does have a little bit of an ERA. He's 4.01 right now. Opponents are hitting 231 against him. So just not the same as last year, but on July 9th, he went 6 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, 9 Ks against Pittsburgh. And then Alex Wood, same story, kind of underwhelming rotation performance with the Giants this year, minus Logan Webb, obviously. But Alex Wood is 6-7 this year, 4.43 ERA. Opponents are hitting 265 off of him. On July 10th against San Diego, he went 7 innings, 3 hits, 0 earned runs, 1 walk, 8 Ks. So maybe it's a little bit of a streak for him. Game 3, we got Eric Lauer going against Alex Cobb. Lauer is 6-3 this year, 3.83 ERA, which is this just shows you how dominant this year is when you feel like a 3.83 isn't that great. This is a year of the pitcher for sure. And then opponents are hitting 235 against him. On July 3rd against Pittsburgh, he went 5 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 7 Ks. Same thing. Pittsburgh is they've been swinging it like the last month. Alex Cobb is 3-4 on the year, 4.57 ERA. Opponents are hitting 268 against him. On July 11th, he did go 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 4 walks, and 4 Ks against the Diamondbacks. And then finishing up game 4 on Sunday, Jason Alexander is going against Logan Webb. Jason Alexander is 2-1 this year, 4.73 ERA. Opponents are hitting 3.14 against him. Yikes. And on July 12th against the Twins, he went 4 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 1 K. And Logan Webb, just doing Logan Webb things. this year once again. 8-3, 2.82 ERA. Opponents are hitting 233. On July 12th against the Diamondbacks, he went 6 innings, 5 hits, 0 earned runs, 2 walks, and 8 Ks. My stars, a little underrated here. Same story. We're going a little underrated. Friend of the pod, Mike Brasso, is having himself a pretty good year. So I'm going to give him a little love. And specifically in these last 5-game stretch, he's 5 for 14, got a jack, 5 RBIs, only 1 strikeout. And honestly, give Mike a look. And if you're looking for a bat down the stretch, I think the Brewers need to lean on him a little bit, man. I'm excited for what he's doing this year. Good for him. And another guy getting a second chance in the limelight, Yermin Mercedes, 4 for 12 his last 5 games. He's got 1 jack, 4 RBIs, does have 5 strikeouts, but I feel like he's found a little something in San Francisco. I like what he's bringing, and overall, I feel like the Giants are kind of just boring, and he brings a little bit of excitement.
A little change of scenery. Never hurt anybody.
Yeah. Although he does look large Marge for sure in those City Connects. The all white makes him. I mean, he's looking like the Michelin Man a little bit. But hey, if you're putting it in the seats, it doesn't matter.
Seats.
Nate.
So we bring this thing home. Unless you got anything else for the Chasers, that is all I have. We will not see you on Monday. We're going to pass for the Home Run Derby and All-Star Game. We'll link back up with you guys next Thursday for episode 296.
Yeah, recapping all the good stuff this week. Find a hobby this week. Find something to do, because once Monday hits, you're going to be pretty bored. So figure something to do, because the All-Star Game, the Home Run Derby is not enough for me. So I got to find, I don't know, I'm going to start working out again, I guess. I doubt it. Don't go chasing curveballs.
We love you all, and as always, looking forward to talking more baseball with you guys soon. Until next time, stay filthy.